Hi everybody, welcome to Danielle Keller Creates and welcome to my scrap room. I'm back in here doing part 2. This is my second video on how to lazy genius attending a scrapbooking retreat. I already attended the event with my friend back in the fall, and now I'm doing the second part, which is step number 5, Systemize. So let's do a recap. The lazy genius. The lazy genius is a concept by author Kendra Adachi. She is also a podcaster, and I listen to her podcast every time I'm in my scrap room. And speaking of lazy genius, what she teaches us is to be a genius about the things that matter and lazy about the things that don't. For this video, I'm going to take you through that 5th step. Steps 1 through 4, let's recap what those are. And you'll see them in the other video. I'll leave a link to it in the description. I'll reference that video a lot probably through this video. But those steps 1 through 4 that I covered are: step 1 is prioritize, so that is what is most important. Step 2 is to essentialize, which means removing anything that is in the way. Step 3 is to organize, putting everything in its place. Step 4 is to personalize, what makes you feel like yourself. And now step 5, systemize, keeping everything in a flow. Let's get to the event and show you the behind the scenes of attending that scrapbooking event and all of the things we did, and then I'll get into more of the processes. So we are pretty fortunate that this large scrapbooking event with over 300 people in attendance takes place locally. It's held by one of our local scrapbooking stores, which actually just recently changed from a brick and mortar to being all online. At least they're still open, but this event is held by them, and people from all over the country come to this retreat. Since I went through steps 1 through 4 to make sure everything was organized, I only had to take one trip from the car to my actual workstation. Now, we are fortunate with this event. We get our own 8-foot table. They greet us with a bag of freebie scrapbooking supplies. We get chocolates to snack on, and since we're in a hotel, we also get a buffet for each meal with dessert, and the food is actually really great. 2.5 days of dedicated time to scrapbook. So to be effective in this step of systemize, how to remain in a flow, steps 1 through 4 were so important to be completed. And one of the things I did in those steps was to remind myself of decisions I had made and where I left off. That's where this sticky note comes in. Sticky notes are my helpful reminders. This one, I was even so specific to say what papers were going to be used on my layout and which actual paper in this pile of papers I was going to use for my chipboard. So one of the things that is so handy is to paper clip and have on an easel. They gave us this at the prop here, is to have your sketch on the easel and clipped up so that can just rest standing up next to me. And that's going to be my guide for this layout I'm working on. Sketches are a part of the essentialize step. I like using them for layouts to set the framework. They also help you pick out the papers, the pictures, and the embellishments in advance. They are definitely essential for me. And then also on that chipboard, one of the things that is important to me also is to use up things I have. And that chipboard I've had for years, and I really wanted to use it. So I knew essentialize, plan ahead. It was important for me to use what I already had, and I had a plan in place. Now, I know scrapbooking is a creative hobby where part of the fun is letting your creativity take you and decide what you want to work on and to be more spontaneous. And I think that's where you decide in step number 1, prioritize what's important to you. And so for me, I know my personality, and working full time with little time to scrapbook, my priority was to get a lot done and stay focused. I also know I love a good process. I love a good system. I love a good to-do list and a checklist. And that's where just staying focused and knowing what was important to me just kind of aligned, and the lazy genius principles just kind of kept me on track. It was something to achieve, and also, yes, at the end of the day, I am high productivity, high achieving. I like to see the results of all my work. So yeah, I pushed myself a little bit, but that's where you get to decide what's important to you at these retreats and what scrapbooking projects you want to do. And I also do enjoy being around my creative friend. Okay, I am back from the weekend of the scrapbooking retreat, and this is pretty normal, I think, for us scrapbookers and crafters, is after a weekend of focusing on your craft, your room looks like it exploded. Now, we did use the lazy genius principles to organize for the event, to prepare for the scrapbooking retreat,
and to actually get stuff done. It worked wonderfully. Everything I wanted to achieve, I did. As I'm going back through everything and putting everything away, we can probably use the same steps. All right, let's start with prioritize. Of course, one would say, well, the priority is to clean up this room. But no, I want to get really specific and I want to get granular here again because I think it's going to help me out. Not only do I want to put everything away, I want to, of course, make sure everything is in its place, but I want to do it quickly. I'm not going to touch things more than once. That's a priority for me. I want to get this done quickly. This isn't to look at all my craft stuff and evaluate them at this point. No, put it back. Quickly is the key here for me. First, I'm going to go through everything that's on the desk. And actually what I'm really going to do, because now we're moving into essentialize, what's essential for me is I'm not tripping and walking and bumping into everything. So I'm taking all the bulky items out, including chairs. They get in my way. I'm going to probably take them and put them outside my door. And then I'm going to be able to work freely back and forth and around the desk and get this done because quickly is important to me. Let's do it. I'm so serious about going quickly that I'm setting a timer. 15 minutes. I don't know if 15 minutes is enough, but we're going to see what we can do in 15 minutes. We're going to go for it. I feel like having this timer is going to force me to go quickly. So let's do it.
Unpacking after being at an event or at a retreat is just part of the normal process, but I'm curious, do you enjoy it or do you dread it? Let me know in the comments how you feel about the whole unpacking of everything you took to the retreat.
Oh, time's up. All right. I'm going to take a breather. I'm going to assess. I'm going to see what's left. We did really good. We have 2 bags left. So let me just take a breath and we'll get right back to it. One of the things I really enjoy and is so helpful when I've done a project, or especially like this retreat where you do so many layouts or you're working on so many things, when I get back, in fact, the first night I ran back home after, that was like at almost 1 a.m. And I came home and I immediately started putting the layouts that I had completed. I put them on what I call my inspiration wall, my motivation wall. 2 things I do here. First, I like to see what I've done. I'd like it to be up for a while. Sometimes when you complete a project and put it right away into the album, you kind of forget and you don't get to enjoy all that work and seeing all those details you put into it. And so here's, so we've got 1, 2, and then 3 more down here, but then I ran out of room, so I had to go over to this wall. And you can see I have cards up there and layout spreads here. So I put all of it. So that first night I went ahead and put my finished layouts here. So the first thing is I like to be inspired. I love to see what I've completed. It motivates me to do more. And I like to see what I've done. And I also, that second reason I put these up here and why I don't finish everything completely, I call it marinating. Let it marinate a little. So what I do is put these up here while I'm sitting at my desk looking at these layouts. I go, oh, you know what would look really good is if this had a title right here. I've already figured that one out as I was looking at it. I'm like, I wish I had a title. That when you leave it on your wall and you look at it all the time, you say, you know, there's a detail or a piece missing and I can just throw it up there. Something else that I kind of leave sometimes to do at my own pace in my own scrap room is the journaling. I leave that kind of for me when I'm, have more time, when I can think about the event and kind of just write at my leisure. So that's just part of the process, helps me speed up at the event and then helps me finish it with fresh eyes and new things that I know I want to do. So I'm going to shift now to the next thing. All right, I'd say 25-30 minutes it took to put everything away. And then I'm going to do this stuff I want, which is kind of like the personalized step, right? Now what's going to make me feel like myself? It's going to let me do the kind of things that make me excited, and why I love the hobby in the first place is the actual projects. So maybe I'll go through those same steps and kind of go through it all with that same mindset because it was super successful at the event. So if you just kind of have a process, sometimes it helps take a lot of the planning out of your mind. It takes kind of the what do I do next out of your mind. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and put those bags away, move on to the next thing, and I'll have you join me when I'm at that prioritization in the next phase of this.
So to be notified of those future videos, be sure to click subscribe and click that notification bell so you will know when those videos are up. I hope you enjoyed learning the 5th step, Systemize, and scrapbooking, and how to lazy genius attending a scrapbooking event. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.